Well, hello there! Welcome once more to Kwancho's Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I'd like to say a very warm akwaba to you. Today I'm sharing with you my oven-baked jollof recipe, and I know this will be a keeper. So for this you will need some black peppercorns, some curry powder, white pepper, bay leaves, some of my all-purpose seasoning, my rice. I'm using basmati rice today, some fresh rosemary and thyme, as well as some fresh green peppers all from my garden. I also have a bouillon cube. This is a Maggi shrimp tablet. You could use any bouillon cube of choice or just totally omit it. I have some lamb. This is lamb, yes, mutton. Or you could use goat meat, beef, or any meat of choice, and my tomatoes too. And that, I hope you have watched the video. I'm going to be pressure cooking this meat. This is lamb, like I said, it is from a sheep, but it was a very big, very mature one, so the meat is a bit more on the tough side. So I have the meat in here, and as you saw, I added my curry, black peppercorn, white pepper, bay leaves, 3 bay leaves, my all-purpose seasoning, and my bouillon cube, and I'm not going to add some salt as well. And the salt is always going to be according to your taste. I added my thyme and rosemary, a little bit of water. This is like a cup of water in here. Stir everything just to make sure everything is well mixed up, and I'm going to pressure cook it. Like I said, it is tough, and so it's this. I'm going to cover now. And I'm going to set this for 25 minutes. So my meat is going to be cooking for 25 minutes in the pressure cooker, and I want it to be cooked to the point where it is soft and just tender, you know, almost falling apart, and that is how I want it to be. So it's been 25 minutes and this is done, and just look at this. It is soft, perfectly cooked. It smells amazing. Transfer your meat into an oven-proof dish because we are going to be baking this alongside the jollof in the oven. So that is done now, and I'm going to wash my rice. And as always, you wash until, you know, your water runs clear. So that has been done now, and I'm transferring my rice into a strainer just to make sure I get out all the water before I transfer it into my baking dish. So I have another baking dish here, and in it I pour my rice. And now I'm going to add some of my pre-made stew. This is a time-saving stew, time-saving, money-saving stew that I had made. And the video is here. I'm going to be linking it right here for you as well. And this is a smoky jollof stew. It is very well cooked, and you can use it to prepare any jollof. It's good as a wachi stew, for your gari photo, anything that you could think of using tomato stew. This is the perfect recipe for you. So I added my stock from the goat. I keep saying goat meat. Like I said, it's actually lamb, but it tastes and looks just like goat meat. So whatever, if I interchange it, just pardon me. So I added the stock from the meat in here, and I am just mixing it up, trying to make sure the water is enough. And at this point I realize I need a little bit more water to cook this rice. Like I previously said, this is basmati rice, and if you know basmati rice, you will know that it really swells up when you cook it. So I'm cooking 4 cups of rice in here, and by the time I'm done, this dish is going to be full because it swells. So I am just adding a little bit more water. This is like a cup of water in addition to the stock that I derived from my meat. And I've added in here some fresh green peppers from my garden. And these are so fragrant. These peppers smell amazing when you cook your rice with. Somebody told me at work to do this. So I put them in the rice, whatever kind of rice you're cooking with the stock on, and the aroma and fragrance it brings. I just want to encourage you to try this. So I'm going to cover my rice right now with parchment paper before I put the aluminum foil. And this is just because from, you know, learning from here, it is not good to directly put that aluminum foil to cover or cook your food on it. So the parchment paper is just for protection. And now I put the actual covering that you would put on your rice. And now it's in my oven, which has been preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then in goes my goat meat as well. So I am saving energy. I'm saving my money by cooking these together. Instead of frying the meat, I'm baking it, and that is a healthier option. So half hour later, this is like 30 minutes later, I brought out my rice, and like any jollof, you know, jollof requires a lot of stirring. So I'm just going to mix this up, stir it to make sure that it gets evenly cooked. The heat is well distributed in my dish. And then I'm just going to cover this up again and put it back in the oven. And as you can see, the rice is already swelling up. Basmati rice, beautiful, beautiful, perfect grains. And in baking it, you are assured that you're not going to be breaking these gorgeous grains. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and cover this up. But then I tasted it, even though I tasted previously and I thought the salt was enough. I feel like I need a little bit more salt, just a little bit more salt. And since this was like a realistic cooking video that I did, you know, I made other dishes as well on the side. And this is just the one I decided to show you separately. So yeah, in real life, yes, if your salt is not enough, you definitely add some more to it. So I hadn't added any salt because the stock was good, and then this, you know, I thought I didn't need any more, but now I added some salt, and that of course is still according to my taste. And I'm going to go ahead and cover again. So I put the parchment paper again and my aluminum foil, and I'm going to bake this for another half hour at the same temperature. So I put my rice in and I brought out my goat meat when I did. And this I'm going to just stir up a little bit, flip them over to make sure that the other side gets beautifully cooked. And if you can see, this looks just like it would have if I had fried it. So healthier, perfect. And I'm not using any oil or extra gas on, you know, on my range to do that. I have the oven on already. I am baking my rice, and so I am conserving money, gas, and everything by doing this together. So I flip everything over, and I'm just going to put this in the oven for about an extra 15 minutes just for the sides that I flipped to the top to also crisp up and, you know, be golden. And this is going to be done. And then I'll put this in the jollof. So I brought this out now after 15 minutes. It is perfectly cooked, ready to go in the jollof. And this is soft. This is no way, by no means hard or tough. This is perfectly cooked and ready to be added into the jollof. So I brought out my jollof rice now and covered it. And I'm going to start stirring. And as you can see, the bottom part is literally all done. It is well cooked. And I'm just going to stir it up. And that is a sure way to make sure that your rice ends up getting evenly cooked. Jollof always requires stirring. Now let's add in our meat, and this is going to go in and cook for the next 15 minutes, and that will be done. And this is because our meat, like I said, it is soft, perfectly cooked, and all you need it for is it to just absorb a little bit, just a little bit of the moisture that is left in here in the jollof, and then to be able to also add in some more flavor to your rice. And that is pretty much it. So 15 to 20 minutes is all it's going to go back in the oven for. And now that I have all the meat in here, I'm just going to go ahead and try to, you know, stir, mix, so everything is well incorporated. There is you know, a piece of meat evenly distributed here in the jollof. So I'm more like trying to strategically plant the meat in here, just because, like I said, you want it to be able to take some flavor from the jollof and also to give off its own flavor to the jollof. So I'm done trying to do this, and I cover again with my parchment paper and foil. And this is going back into the oven, same temperature, for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So I let it be for 20 minutes, and so 20 minutes later, our jollof is perfectly cooked. Look at those grains, so beautiful. It's basmati rice, but it's by no means looking dry. It is still fluffy, but beautiful grains. Meat, if you can see from the color, has absorbed some of the colors and the moisture from the jollof. This smells just like good meat jollof should smell like, and this is mutton, so you can even imagine lamb in jollof. This smells amazing. And those peppers, that pepper that I just picked up and showed you, together with its friends, the aroma that it brought to this jollof, just amazing. And look at this, very simple, delicious dinner, all ready to be served. We are serving this with some sauteed vegetables, and this paired so beautifully. It was just a delicious, very simple meal. I hope you try this recipe. This jollof, as you can see from the dish, we had no crust, no canzo at all. This is the perfect way for you to make rice for your parties, the birthday parties, your weddings. It's just a good way to cook jollof, and I hope you are able to try this. But to get it to be this perfect, to still be smoky jollof, even when it is oven baked, kindly try my tomato stew recipe, my jollof stew recipe, and I know you will love both. These are both keepers, and I hope you are able to give it a try. Just look at this. Is this not gorgeous? Beautiful, beautiful. And like I said, this was part of a meal prep video, and I hope you are going to be able to watch that meal prep video. So we had some of the jollof for dinner, and the rest I'm packaging in here in these bowls. These are meal prep, so we can just grab and go on a busy day for work, or just to take, warm up, and sit at home and eat. Simple, but just a good way to go about things. I'll be sharing such videos with you at least once a month doing meal preps, and I hope you keep on watching and you are able to get some tips from this. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.